Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League showcasing another very powerful team featuring Nidoqueen in its shadow form. Guys, I am sick and tired of seeing all of this Calm Day Frenzy Plant abuse in the Great League, so I had to bust out my shadow Nidoqueen. And also on this team on the safe swap, Drapion. We are rolling with Sludge Bomb for this particular team. I do like that for Mandibuzz and Umbreon, but generally it is recommended that you go with Aqua Tail, especially on the safe swap. And for rounding out the team, good old Lickitung, arguably the best Pokemon in the entire meta. And with that being the case, it is about as safe of a lead as you can possibly run in the Great League. The Calm Day Frenzy Plant usage is off the charts in the Great League. We had to bring some balance to that. And if you don't have Licky, you can run Umbreon. But here we go. Venusaur on the lead. Here we go. This is why we've got this team, guys. Not a good lead for my Licky. So we go into Drapion. And the audacity of this Frenzy Plant trainer to stay in. I'm telling you, they just think Frenzy Plant everything and it will fall. But no, guys, not with Drapion. We win this in the 2s, no problem. We also win this in the 0s, so gonna throw this next crunch here. Now grabbing a shield from this Venusaur here, and we will shield the next Frenzy Plant. As you can see, even in our shadow form, we tank a resisted Frenzy Plant, no problem, but obviously not 2. And we're just going to throw this crunch to get rid of the Venusaur, and we will see what they have in the back. They do let it go. That is brilliant. And they've got an Umbreon in the back. Again, this is why I like Sludge Bomb. Umbreon and Mandibuzz have seen more usage recently than we've ever seen. So going to go for the Sludge Bomb here. Not expecting a shield. They don't shield, but look at that damage on a very tanky Pokemon. And we will let this go and look to bring in our Nidoqueen. We can do all right here with our... Whoa, they top left. Holy smokes, that's the power of Nidoqueen in the current meta. I don't know what they had in the back, but probably did not want to see a Nidoqueen. Good game, well played to them. This double poison team was putting in work in the Great League. And again, if you don't have a Licky, Umbreon will do the trick. And here we go, another Venusaur lead. This time a nice shiny Venusaur. And again, they stay in on a poison safe swap. It is astounding to see. We get this crunch off. They bank their move, and they make a play into a Lantern. So this is fine. So we're just going to look to build up and go for this crunch here. I don't expect a shield, but a nice defense drop would be quite refreshing here. We don't get it. That's okay. And they're going to throw a move here. We're going to let this go. We should survive a Surf, and we do. That's all they thought that they maybe needed, but probably should have gone for the Thunderbolt to get the clean KO, and they allow us to get off another crunch here. Doesn't quite KO, which is quite unfortunate for us, so we're just going to bring Licky in. I didn't want to give up any early shields to this trainer because they do have a Frenzy Plant user. And if you start giving up shields, that is just not good for you. And we are spamming that switch to get the Nidoqueen back in. Going to shield this Frenzy here. Hits us for neutral, but we are Shadow, and that would just about one-shot, guys. And we Poison Jab all the way down. Oh, and they top left again. Holy smokes, a lot of teams. Core broken by Shadow Nidoqueen. You'd love to see it. Good game, well played to them. Yeah, a lot of traders have caught on and realized that the Frenzy Plant users do beat Licky on the lead, so I had to back them up with some poison types in the meta. And here we go, Charjabug. We're going to go for this Body Slam early. We do quite all right in the 0s, and if they want to win lead, they're going to have to give us a shield advantage. So that's what we're going to play to. We're not shielding Licky whatsoever. And again, if you don't have a Licky and you want to run this team, you can run Umbreon. That would work as well. But here we go. They do get off an X-Scissor. Does very little damage, as most things do, to Lickitung. They're going to go for another one, and we're going to let this go. Like I said, securing a shield advantage for Nidoqueen to sweep is quite beneficial, particularly with this team, which is why Lickitung is so nice on the lead, wins lead a whole lot, and they are now going to throw early to get rid of us. They have to, and we did secure the shield advantage. So now we can align our Nidoqueen onto this Bug Electric type, one of the hardest counters to a Charjabug you'll ever find, as everything is absolutely hard-walled as far as the conventional moveset. They can run Crunch, but they generally don't. And they've got a Greninja in the back. Holy smokes, gonna go for this Poison Fang here. Get this debuff train rolling on the very squishy Greninja. Expecting a shield, they do shield. And there's just no way we're allowing them to take us out. We're shielding this 1000%. And we are just one Poison Jab off from our second Fang. And this will, be making easy work of this Greninja, guys. We are saying bye-bye to the Greninja. And they've got a Deoxys in the back. This is over. This is nighty-night sleep tight here. We've got an excellent answer to Deoxys in the form of our Drapion. We're just going to add a little insult to injury, debuff it. Really didn't have to do that, but it just further cements this already dominant matchup here. Gonna one shield flex on them, let this go. We survive a Thunderbolt, no problem, and we've got the Crunch locked and loaded. Holy smokes, this team puts in the work in the Great League. You'd love to see it. We're saying bye-bye to the DD as well. Drapion coming in clutch, closing strong and dominant fashion against the DD. Good game, well played to them. Lickitung and Nidoqueen actually make for a very strong core in the Great League. And here we go. Shadow Swampert. This is a nightmare for our backline, which is why we've got Licky here on the lead. And again, if you don't have a Lickitung, you can run Umbreon. We're going to go for the Body Slam. A strong argument could be made for building up to the Power Whip, but I really want to put heavy pressure on the very spammy and hard-hitting Swampert. We're going to play out the zeros. I have a rank 1 Licky. We survived 2 Shadow Hydro Cannons long enough to perhaps take out the Swampert. Even if we don't, it's now low enough and manageable for our backline. But we do survive and win the zeros here up against the Swampert. If they let this Body Slam go, they do. Oh my goodness, Licky, so clutch in the Great League. And they've got a Trev in the back. So I actually choose to bring in Nidoqueen here, just in case there's a Sableye lurking, perhaps a double Ghost Line. That's the rationale behind this. I know that the neutral shadow poison damage is more than enough to dispatch of a Trevenant, no problem. And they make a very clutch catch onto a Pelipper, so slightly off on the team read. It's not a Sableye, but better to be safe than sorry. I wanted to preserve a Drapion for a potential Sableye, knowing that Nidoqueen could take out a Trev. And we're now grabbing shields, evening up the shields, and we will let this go. The play here now is to Poison Sting down this Pelipper and leave with loaded energy to take out the Trevenant. They will make it to a move, and I was wondering, what's going to do more? A Weather Ball with stab from Pelipper or a resisted Shadow Ball? I had a strong feeling they did about the same. So we elect to spin the shield there. We're going to do just fine. We will make it to 2 crunches, which is what we need to seal the deal here. They will get off their move, but we survived no problem, even in our Shadow form. And oh my gosh, that Shadow Ball, that resisted Shadow Ball did insane damage. Holy smokes, going to go for the crunch here. They let it go. I thought for sure they were going to try and put up a fight, but no, they realized it was not going to happen. We were at the back-to-back. They let it go. Good game. Well played to them. Yeah, I would have to say Licky Nidoqueen core addresses a lot of the common meta quite well. Like what we see here, Deoxys lead. Everybody leads Deoxys. It's a beautiful thing if you've got a Lickitung lurking. Again, Umbreon would be just as effective here up against the Deoxys. So again, if you don't have a Lickitung, you can run Umbreon. And they're happy to stay in. A lot of these Deoxys trainers are generally staying in on the Lickitung lead to get it low and manageable. That's kind of what you have to do with a Licky. It's so strong. And they pivot into a Greninja, so this completely threw me off. I wasn't quite sure what to do with this here. It's quite bad for our 2 Pokemon in the back, so we elect to just stay in and get damage off on this thing. We're not going to shield this. We know that we have Drapion for that Deoxys, but I do decide to come in with the Drapion, just thinking that we would at least come close enough to the pacing of Greninja. But of course, Greninja does outpace us. We maybe could, if we were going to shield, we maybe could have come in with Nidoqueen and go for the fast move pressure, because we likely would not have had to throw this move, but they shield anyways. So now, that's one thing about Greninja in the Great League. It is really good at putting heavy shield pressure on its opponent, and that is exactly what they're doing to us. So It does go down. We are down shields here, but we've got loaded energy. They've got a Dugong. They tried to catch onto the DD, but we held on, exercised a little bit of patience, and we now have even more energy. Gonna say bye-bye to the DD as they are putting all of their chips on this Dugong, and I don't blame them. Dugong can be a very solid closer, especially up a shield. Gonna go for this crunch. They do let it go, but we get a very clutch defense drop, and we go into Nidoqueen to really just put pressure on them. They're over farming here, but seeing that defense drop and getting those shadow poison jabs in was amazing for us. And they don't go for the drill run. They allow us to get to this move here. They should definitely be shielding here, but they don't. And I think that sealed the deal because we were able to poison sting them down just as they were getting to their next move. My goodness, that was a close one. Very sweaty, but good game. Well played to them. Shadow Nidoqueen kind of back on the rise, kind of back on the map. Not nearly what it once was, but still good enough to address a lot of the meta. But here we go. Gligar lead. We win this in the zeros, so we're happy to play out that scenario. Gonna go for our first body slam, and I do presume they will let this go. Now, from a team reading perspective, you can generally bet the house that there is at least a Lickitung in the back behind a Gligar lead. And generally a Lantern, very similar to team number 3 from my top 5 best teams, which has Medi on the lead with Licky and Lantern in the back. So either way, Licky does fine up against both versions. And gonna go for another body slam here after tanking 2 digs. They do let that go as the Shadow does survive that, but we are able to lick down. And there's the Licky right on cue. So we're making a massive misplay here. What we should be doing is not staying in because their play, and I experienced this a lot during Go Battle Day, which is why I was kicking myself allowing this to happen. But what they'll do is they'll lose lead to your Licky with their Gligar and then come in and get an insane double resisted farm down with their own Licky. Again, it's just a bonehead play to allow that to happen. But I was thinking there would definitely be a Lantern in the back, and we could come in with our dark type Drapion onto this, but you can't come into a Licky with that much energy. You're just asking for trouble. So that was the rationale. I was thinking, okay, we've got Drapion for this, and we've got Nido for whatever's in the back. It happens to be a Metacham. I was expecting Lantern, and they make another brilliant play by immediately pivoting into their Medi to get ahead by 1 counter. So yeah, we just kind of misplayed. I think in hindsight, the best way to play this one out was to not let Licky get farmed down and to perhaps come in with our Nidoqueen, but come in with the Nidoqueen and then just see what comes of that. But I do know that allowing that Licky to fully farm us down was not the way to go for sure. And they will just outpace us by a turn here or a fast move, taking us out. And our Drapion's just not healthy enough. Yeah, we threw that one. Maybe didn't throw, but we definitely didn't give ourselves the best chance of victory. So good game, well played to them. Oh, it's so nice having a Shadow Nidoqueen. Sometimes you have to think outside the box to get ahead of the meta. But here we go, Dragonite. This thing is seeing quite a bit of usage as of late on the lead. There's generally a Steel type in the back, or perhaps a Licky of their own. Something to counterbalance the lack of bulk for this thing. And they give up an early shield, so we'll play out the ones if they want to do that, because they are now within body slam range. And I'm going to go for this body slam here. And if they want to shield this, we'll let it go. We'll take the shield advantage, and we'll do just fine, I'm thinking, from there. And that is precisely what they do. So we'll let this go. They're very close to another Dragon Claw, but they're not quite there. I'm thinking a couple of Shadow Poison Jabs will do the trick just as they're getting to it. That was brilliant. We get out of there relatively unscathed, and they've got an Impoleon to the back. Holy smokes. They tried to catch the Earth Power onto the Medi, but not going to happen. We banked that. Now, if you're probably laughing, thinking, Impoleon in the Great League? Guys, that's actually not a bad play to pair with Dragonite, because one of Dragonite's worst nightmares in the meta is Steelix. One of Steelix's worst nightmares in the meta, or not really in the meta, but would be Impoleon. So that's actually some decent team building right there. And they're running pup, so we survive all of this here long enough to get off this crunch. We are saying bye-bye to the Medi, and this is Nighty-Night Sleep Tight. We still have a shield, and we've got an Earth Power locked and loaded for the Impoleon. Holy smokes, yeah. That's actually a solid pairing with D-Knight to protect it from Steelix. We're saying bye-bye to the Impoleon nonetheless, though. Oh, that was a good one. I'm quite satisfied denying Dragonite leads. Those are very annoying. So good game, well played to them. Yeah, guys, it's been a while since I've used Shadow Nidoqueen in the Great League, and with all the grass, I was thinking it is high time we do that. And speaking of grass, had a Serperior lead. Very nice and refreshing to be able to safe swap out of those with a team like this here. And they are core broken by a strong poison type like Drapion as they bring in their own Licky onto our Drapion. So we are well ahead on energy. Going to let this Body Slam go. We are resisting the fast move pressure. And going to look to build up a little bit here and throw just shy of their Body Slam. And they can let this go. They do survive this as well. I don't think we're going to shield anything here. We don't particularly need switch. So we're going to let this go here. Now, what we're going to look to do is let that go and then lick this thing all the way down. Holy smokes, that is an ambitious double resisted farm down, but my rank 1 Licky is definitely up to the task. They can throw these body slams all they want. We tank them for days. We are farming down. We're double resisted farming down this Lickitung here, and we are going to leave with all of the energy known to man to throw at their team. So they're going to get off one more here, and we will get this lick down here. We are still very healthy. Now we're going to insta-pivot into our own Nidoqueen onto the Serperior. It has nowhere to go, and oh my gosh, they've got an Azu lurking in the back. Oh, this is over. This is about as over as it gets. Holy smokes. Going to go for one Fang and then jab down. They do let that go, putting the hope and faith into their own Serperior, but it is just not going to happen. We know exactly what to do from here. We shield this up and we jab all the way down, leaving with close to 2 Fangs to hit that Serperior with. They will undoubtedly go shielded, but our double resisted farm down will prove to be quite fruitful because double debuffed, I'm thinking 2 body slams will get the job done. We shield this. We want to double debuff it and get those shields down because we've got loaded energy on our Licky. They go for the Aerial Ace there. It does not matter. We're getting off this next jab, likely grabbing the shield. And if that is what they do, we insta-pivot and we go back-to-back body slams to seal the deal here. And yeah, this is over. The next body slam will KO the Serperior here. And it is just about all she wrote, unfortunately, for this Serperior. So yeah, again, if you're sick and tired of seeing Community Day grass all over the place, you might want to give this team a try. It's quite effective against it. Good game, well played to them. Yeah, I love running Licky on the lead, and I got tired of losing to the Community Day grass types. Like what we see here, another Serperior lead going back into Drapion, just like we did in the last one. They store a little bit of energy, but this one has a Basti in the back. We're well ahead on energy, and this is where Aqua Tail is very, very useful. But we don't have Aqua Tail, so we're just going to rely on our crunches here and hope for maybe a debuff. That would be really nice, as they are triple resisting our fast move pressure, which is not very intense to begin with. Going to shield this. We want to get this Basti a little lower. See, the problem is Nidoqueen's very strong against what they have here, but Nidoqueen in its shadow form can only do so much in the Great League. So we've got to put in a little bit of work on this Basti. We're now grabbing shields. We're leveraging our energy lead here. Got to throw with proper timing to perhaps get this one done here. And they let that one go. We should make it to another crunch, and that is where proper timing really comes in clutch. It is very important. We get off this next crunch, and they shield, so that's beautiful. This is why throwing with optimal timing is very important. Arguably the most important, guys. we would not have made it to that last crunch to get that final shield down. And although we didn't flip the matchup, we're now able to come in with our Licky, absorb all this damage, and do exactly what we did in the previous matchup, and that is fully lick this thing all the way down. We're still relatively healthy, still up a shield. We're going to instantly pivot back into our Nidoqueen if they bring the Serpent. They do. And they're going to throw a move here. So we will absolutely shield up the neutral Frenzy plant here and see what they have lurking in the bag. Oh, it's a Shadow Sableye. Oh my goodness, shields are down. Nidoqueen is about to put in work on this Sableye. Guys, we're saying bye-bye to the Sableye, and it is all she wrote for that Serperior yet again. Holy smokes. Guys, I woke up this morning with a mission. That mission was to shut down Community Day Grass types, and that is the team. I think we achieved what we set out to do with this team. So if you're seeing more Frenzy Plant users than you care to see, you might want to give this team a try. It's very, very effective against it, as we saw in this video. So yeah, I already knew Licky plus Nidoqueen was already a very powerful core. If you think about it, Licky beats just about everything that Nidoqueen doesn't want to see. Beats Swampert, beats Azu, beats the ice types like Shadow Claw, A-Slash, and Frostlass, and Nidoqueen, of course, handles the fighters, although Licky can put in work there as well. So you round that very strong core, you round that out with a very strong safe swap on the safe swap that can either put pressure on shields or just outright flip switch. Guys, that's a recipe for a lot of success, as well as a lot of fun in the Great League. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.